Hey everyone, welcome back to another greatest hits episode of The Loud Quiet. This one's about when you take your kid to school for that first time, they're away and they're going to be experiencing things, and it can be hard to see them go through difficult situations. This episode is about our daughter Teagan and a really challenging situation she had with her roommate and watching her handle that, and also how we learned to navigate that as parents from afar. Hope you enjoyed this greatest hits episode of The Loud Quiet.
Welcome back to the Loud Quiet. This is episode 10. We made it to
Oh my gosh.
10. Yeah, this is
This is
this is
episode
number
10?
10. So we've been at this now for 10 weeks.
We're out of fingers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm I mean, I'm glad we're still doing it. I hope you guys are still enjoying listening and watching, and again, we'd love to have your input on any topics. If you'd like to be a guest, we would love to, y'all don't want to see us all the time. So we love when we have our guests on. And I think today's topic, once we get into the actual topic, will be something that all empty nesters, no matter what age you are, can relate to, hopefully, I would imagine, and, are still probably even us with our age of parents. I think everyone is going to be able to relate to what we're going to be discussing. But we first wanted to start off with, we didn't get to finish our recap of Parents Weekend with Teagan, and we'll get to why when we get to our upcoming topic.
If you watch the end of the video, we even are saying that of, oh, so we'll do a recap, or maybe we'll do an episode. We don't know. We had something in mind, and the topic that we're going to be talking about today, this wasn't planned.
No.
And it's something that's was on our hearts, has been on our hearts, and now is going to be a chance for us to talk through and share. And I hope that folks I'd love to hear their comments on how they handle it. Because as we said from the beginning, we're trying to learn as a part of this process. We don't have all the answers.
Yeah. But let's talk about, so here, we had so much fun with Teagan, with Parents Weekend Part 2. This was at the football game, and we just had a great time. Just getting to see her. I think we kind of referenced how it seems like she's just so much more grown up. Mm-hmm. She was always mature, but just on a different level. And we got to take her friends out to dinner. They were all amazing, sweet, respectful, exactly the kind of kids that
they thanked
you want.
All of us.
Yes, you want.
I appreciated that.
Your kids to have around. They've been a great support system for her, which will come into
so
our
many
topic.
teases
I know,
here.
yeah. But we had a great time. But
now, Clancy, something that I did notice, it surrounds food again, right? Not here in this picture, but taking the people out to dinner, the breakfast that we have, the lunches that we have. Parents' Weekend and food seem to go hand in hand.
Well, you're in a different place, so of course you're,
And it's so much fun to discover these new places,
Mm-hmm.
and to discover them and be able to be in a situation, because one of them we found when we were there dropping her off, and to have her say, "Oh, I really want to go back to that place again."
Oh yeah,
cements that this is her home.
I'm already thinking about and I think we already talked about the Mexican food place that we went to. I really am ready to go back, and maybe in a couple weeks when we go back, we'll get to visit or try another one.
Right.
But it was interesting, though, just being on campus, and kind of what our topic today is: how do we now adult these adult children? Yeah. And it was very interesting seeing dynamics of kids and their parents on campus. And again, we didn't get that with Tanner freshman year because they didn't have Parents Weekend. This time we were fully submerged in the dorm, on the campus.
Riding the trains on campus.
The Sunlink. There was a big fight on the Sunlink between a mom and her daughter. I mean, it was the amounts of "Mom, geez" that I heard from luckily not from our child, but
maybe
from
find
other.
Back later, but we didn't hear
I'm
them
sure she was saying things when she got back to her dorm, but it was
Well, yeah.
interesting seeing, no, I've been on my own for 6 weeks. Don't come back in here and try to be my authority.
Don't try to be my authority. They're also, I think, an element of what we saw on the train, which was, I mean, this was F-bomb riddled. This was,
yeah, it was
this was
bad.
Housewives-esque type, you know, one of the individuals in the fight just abandoned the train, left the other individual to continue on. I think some of that too was not only don't be my don't be my authoritative figure, don't act like my friends.
Yes.
You're
And-
still my mom. You're still my dad. Don't suddenly try to be the stupid college kid
Right.
because you're here.
Right. And you know, we had fun at Tanner's parents' weekend.
That's right. We talked about going to
obviously.
Casa, right?
You know,
So-
yeah, we had fun. But like Teagan said, yeah, but y'all don't get dumb, and
Yeah.
y'all can, you know, we know the line and not to cross it. And it was sad. That girl was crying. Her mom was embarrassing her. I mean, it was just, you just felt so awful. And yeah, it was really, I mean,
And that's the serious one.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're
The
talking
rest,
about too.
the rest were funny. Like, you know, we tried to call you. I was asleep. I mean, it was just, I wish I'd written down all of the little.
Do you remember the one when we were walking and it was suddenly we couldn't see the girl behind us, but we heard her talking. She was on the phone and it became clear that she was talking to her parents about rent and a place to live in. Well, if y'all would just come out and visit, and they clearly didn't want to visit. They wanted to say no to whatever property she wanted to be in. Of course, we're hearing half the conversation, so we're filling in some gaps here. And then finally it was, well, if you just give me the money that you were going to give to me, I'll just pick the place on my own.
I mean, it was just, and this is really the first time that I've picked up on it. And maybe it is because I'm in that situation now where, you know, both of our children were in that situation. They're adults.
Yeah.
You know, yes, we still are fully funding them. So we do have some control, but, you know, they're making their own decisions.
Yeah.
They're, you know, having to deal with things that mom's not sitting at home waiting for you to
Right.
come home and tell us what happened, you know. So
Even like the place that Teagan is choosing, or at least if everything goes through, right, looking at living, we were initially somewhat reluctant. Like we had some very strong perspectives. That's not the right word, but just had some concerns going into it. But she, the adult child, showed us not only just showed us the place, but kind of walked us through some of the concerns that we had, and almost spoke to us kind of adult to adult to some degree, to the point that we're like, yeah, absolutely. You were right. You were more right than we were going into that thought about where to live.
and that is one thing, you know, and I know parents, all the parents of college kids right now, especially the freshmen who are in the dorms and want to move out of the dorms, it is insane to me that these kids, they've been there for 6 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And they're already having to figure out, where am I living next year? Who am I living with? I have to go through this 52-page lease agreement with my dad so that we can, you know.
Man, that was dull.
And yeah, it is crazy. And I will say Teagan has treated it totally different than Tanner did. We were the parents on the phone. I'm going to sign the lease right now. I need you to do this. Blah 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 blah. You know.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You're signing
yeah,
a lease?
yeah.
You got to do it in 3 hours.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
We're
You know,
9 months ahead of the
yes,
deadline here.
and Teagan has thoughtfully thought out, you know, where she wants to live. You know, some of the friends already live there, so it's been vetted.
Yeah.
So, but it is just so crazy to me that they're already having to figure out next year's living when they're just getting settled into where they're living now.
They're barely exactly. They are barely understanding. Just like simple things like taking the train and that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Teagan knew about it. She's done it, but it's not the same as a senior who has been fully. And I don't want to overstate taking the train. This isn't New York, folks. This
Oh,
is
no,
one
it's
light
little
rail
train,
line
yeah.
that goes from campus.
But
to
it is
place.
awesome.
Oh,
I
it's
loved
awesome.
it. Yeah, we used it quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so that's something that we've talked about is even in Parents Weekend, how we've done Parents Weekend and having them back to back. The difference between our two children was really eye-opening, and even just how we did Parents Weekend. Found ourselves feeling differently, doing things differently that I don't know going into it. I really thought about going into it.
No, you could really, and we know the differences between our
Sure.
kids, but it really, when Tegan was living at home, if she was done with whatever we we're doing, she just went to her room, whereas on Saturday when we had a bulk of time that we didn't have something scheduled or planned, she's not bad, but it's not her jam to just be like, okay, yeah, let's just walk around campus and the tailgates for 3 hours before the game.
Yeah.
She, shut down, and I pulled you aside and I said, look, she's done.
Yeah.
She
Tank
will
empty.
she will come back at the game, but she needed to just chill and have some downtime so that she could get. And once we got to the game, she was right back in and
She was
talking
so
about.
into
I
it.
mean, yeah, she was.
She
really,
does know her football, which is
she
great.
yes.
You are right, though,
Yeah.
about that it was, whereas when we'd done the ASU ones, there would be maybe okay, we're going to do this party and then we're going to hang out at this house and this kind. So there were some scheduled things, but some of those things involved unplanned elements inside of them, and that was okay. This one, and I think, too, there's a little bit of learning that we have about the U of A Parents Weekend, that we are not going to invest as much of our social energy in the tailgate that's there, because it's great, it's fine, but it wasn't necessarily the right scene there for us. You're right, though. That is a difference, and we felt that because it was probably the first time that I'd felt almost like an internal, like, I don't want my child to be bored when I'm with her, right? I don't want her to be thinking, well, God, I wish my parents weren't here, kind of thing. And I had that feeling, and it was more about what you described rather than her parents. And yeah, once the game started, different, and it was also a good game, so that sort of helped too. She was into it, we were into it. Yes, we left before it was over because we were all spent. It was a lot of fun, and like y'all saw in that picture, it's beautiful there. That sunset going down behind the mountains, spectacular.
Yeah. And I think probably the kids, and I'm sure a lot of the parents would probably say that, they probably are having a little bit of angst of, what do I do with my parents right now? Because we're just here, and so unfortunately in Tucson, there's not a ton of close hotels like right around campus that are nice. And so we were staying pretty far out. It's not like we could just go back to our hotel and say, hey, we'll pick you up in a few minutes. She did come with us, and that was a good time when we could get some
we knocked out
stuff
business
done. Yeah, her adult business. So but yeah, so I'm sure she was feeling a little bit of, it's not like we can just go hang out in her dorm room. There's nowhere to go in your dorm room. So
and I think that's something we've learned, and we will take away a tip for parents going back to school. And I think we came into it naturally with Tanner. Our Saturdays with Tanner frequently were, we didn't even see him until the afternoon or even later afternoon, because he'd wake up later, he would do homework. Teagan's an earlier riser, and this was our first time seeing her, so we probably tried to maximize as much time with her. I think we now know to almost replicate elements of how we did it with Tanner, of we hang and then we leave.
yeah.
And then and it's okay for you to go off and do homework, and that's all right. And we'll go do our own thing or sit by the pool. I don't care. But that separation, it's okay. The first one, we just felt that.
Yeah, and I think she was, excited to be with us too. And she's already prepared us, because when we go back in a couple of weeks, she's already said, I do have something going on during, and we're like, Teagan, that's fine. This is just a check-in. I want to see your face. Is everything good? This is not you need to cater to us the entire trip. This is a just wellness check, or whatever you want to call it, on both of them. Before we see them for Thanksgiving.
And let's be honest, it's a wellness welfare check, and it's a chance to go get some good Mexican food and some good. Because I was telling you when we walked out of church today, I love Arizona. It's funny, how many comments did we get coming out of church? Oh, bear down, all that kind of stuff. I'm wearing this. I love that state. I'd be there in a heartbeat, right? And so these trips are also just a chance, like this one coming up, just to be there. Love it. Sorry, Miso. He's behind the chair. Sorry, we are going to be leaving you for a bit.
So
he seems concerned.
So yeah, so
So how did it end?
Well, so our plan on Sunday was to take her to breakfast, and then we were gonna put our phone up in the car and do our recap
As
on
we're
the way
driving
to
back
the airport
to
Phoenix, to the airport.
yeah.
Yeah. So we pull up to the parking lot at the dorm. She gets in the car and immediately starts bawling. And I was like, okay, no, wait, what happened? This is what happened. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't do this
When
again.
we left you, everything was
I've
good.
cried in this parking lot too many times. So, yeah, this is where we've had to maneuver that Sunday and through the beginning of this past week. Just how do you help your kids when, one, you're not physically in the same state that they are, and two, you're trying to give them some leeway, but you're also trying to help them direct, the stormy seas. That's,
You want to solve for it.
yeah, I mean,
And you have to
we'll
keep
talk. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about how. Yeah, we'll get into the way I wanted to solve it.
Not only are there differences between Tanner and Teagan, there are differences between Rick and Clancy.
Yeah.
So
So I mean,
that's not how we expected to start that day,
No.
because and here it is. I mean, we were so excited to see her, and this is the last chance to say goodbye after a breakfast, or I guess we hadn't eaten breakfast yet, but yeah, this was a real kind of almost Teagan's first time with dealing with this sort of relationship difficulty.
yes, she. For those of you who know Teagan, for her to get a text from someone, and this came later in the week, telling her that she was so rude and that she treated people badly. I mean, that is not Teagan. No. I mean, I know everyone thinks their child is good and could not, do things like that. She does have resting bitch face, but she is not.
But her inside
mean.
is one
She
of the
is not,
kindest
yes.
people that I know.
She would never be intentionally mean to someone unless she was defending someone else.
She would never initiate the
Yes.
unkindness. And even when the unkindness is brought to her, she is frequently, she was always the encourager in drill team, which
She's the
in another word,
peacemaker.
she was the peacemaker.
She is the
Yep,
peacemaker.
Exactly.
And so I don't think when you meet your roommates now it's almost like a dating app for people that don't have kids that are currently in college or have not been in college for a while. It is like a dating app. So, when things matched, great. The first interactions were good. There were just some boundaries that started getting crossed. And
Boundaries and some incompatibilities that were unexpected.
yes.
And I'm not even going to say right or wrong here,
No,
just
just-
incompatibilities about even some
Even
of the innocuous,
schedules.
like times
Yeah,
and
just
schedules,
yeah.
right? So that's why I'm using that term.
Yeah.
Some of the boundaries, though, there is a right and wrong to some of those boundaries. Even still, it's roommate conflict
Yeah.
to a depth that just was.
Yeah. And, I will say it probably started the second week of school, maybe third. And, Teagan had addressed it directly with her roommate. Things.
Initiating the conversation.
Yeah.
Let's say she
She
said,
did, yes.
we need to talk
Yeah.
about X, and they talked about X.
Yeah.
Okay.
And things got better for a few days, but then, so Teagan took it up, went and talked to her RA,
For advice.
yes, for advice. She was not tattling. She was not.
I have a
just-
situation. How am I
Yes.
supposed to handle this? Not you fix
No.
it for me, RA, but rather how do
Yeah.
I handle this?
No, I will say the one thing: Teagan is mature when it comes. Way more mature than some 18-year-olds. Way more mature than some almost 50-year-olds.
And multiple of the 50-year-olds
yeah.
texts that we're not sharing.
Yeah.
Her maturity is beyond what I think we expected,
Mm-hmm.
and the way she handled it. And yet, when she gets in the car and she's that upset, your first reaction as a parent who 8 months ago would have been not a parent of an adult, but now I don't know if I know math right, but either way, now it's about First, I even would, I even asked Teagan, do you want recommendations? Even just asking that, or you
Right.
just telling us what it is? And she didn't say yes right at the beginning, which I found interesting. She kind of wanted to work through and just talk through this first.
Yeah. She wanted to vent.
Yeah.
And that's what, and I think you did a good job of that because as a male, typically y'all want to fix.
Oh my gosh,
And
yes.
And early, even in
Yeah, this
early
is a
on
marriage
in our
lesson.
marriage, or
Yeah.
even dating, it was, I don't want you to tell me what to do. I'm just telling you what's going on, and let me just.
Oh, that is 100% where this came from.
Yeah.
You're right.
But then she did, and so we helped her, and she had already actually really
She'd done it
figured
almost
out.
everything.
Yeah, she had already figured out what her plan was. What so okay, we fly back here Sunday. We thought,
Very silent car.
yeah,
Very,
and that evening we get a text that she said something else had happened, and now, she was taking it to the next level of setting up a meeting with her RA and her roommate.
as a mediated session,
Yes.
right? She was looking
Yes.
for the RA to be the mediator.
She just wanted someone else there, not to take her side, but just to be in the room while they could both express their feelings. So, okay, so Monday is when we get the barrage of, or no, it was Tuesday.
Yeah, this is Tuesday because we had our rooted group that evening.
That's right, yeah. So Monday, everything, I guess, went fine. Maybe Monday night was when she said, anyways, I don't know the timeline. But yes, Tuesday is when we get texts that Teagan screenshotting me texts coming back and forth. And, they're just not, I mean, she was even like, I'm in Spanish class and I'm crying. And
so what do you want to do as a parent right then? I'm
Well,
going to say,
what
what do you,
yeah.
Clancy, want to do in this situation?
I was about to get on a plane and go take care of things myself. And one of my friends was coming with me to help.
I was being asked for 2 tickets to Tucson to go break laws.
I really was not going to do that. Now, if someone had caused any kind of physical harm to my baby, then I would have been out there.
Yeah.
And even her brother Tanner told me the next day, I was about to get in my car and drive down there. And I was like, and Rick was like, both of you stop, just stop.
When you get deposed, you need to not say this.
So,
But that is the natural reaction, right? And yes, I felt the same thing. What do you want to do? You want to just go, you want to tell an 18-year-old you're being a twit,
Yeah.
right? And to be fair, we have one side of the story. I to be a little bit fair, I feel very confident that this is a case where Teagan was. You know what? I'm not even going to say that. We just, as parents of our child, we sided with our child and wanted to solve for our child.
Yes.
And it was hard to bite tongues sometimes and not say and not do some of the things that we wanted to say and do.
and I could have intervened because I had a way to intervene.
You did.
But I have not this entire time. I haven't.
We didn't call the RA.
No.
We didn't call
I
the
would
RA.
have never done that, but I meant
I'm just
I
going
had
through
a
the list of what
direct
helicopter
line to-
parents
right,
might have done.
yes.
We could have contacted other parents. We
Yeah.
could have. Interesting. Maybe we'll mention it a little later, but we found out that was the right choice on more reasons than we would have realized, because others had said it being in similar, different situation, but roommate situations where they'd contacted the parent and it completely blew up in their face.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's just hard to, so she tells us, her time is set up for this meeting. And of course, they're 2 hours behind us. And so,
I felt sick.
So ahead of us or whatever, behind, I guess. Yeah. I mean, physically, I was sick all afternoon, Tuesday, all when we got to our rooted class, which is a class we take at church. We asked specifically if we could just stop and pray for Teagan and her roommate, and that, it would just get resolved and everything would be, good. So, so we're sitting there the whole time and rooted, like, I'm like looking at my phone the whole time. Why hasn't she texted yet? Why is this meeting taking so long?
What's happening?
Oh, yeah. But I mean,
In the end,
yeah.
I mean, and in the end, because this is more about a story about what we as parents did and need to do. And the reality is we did. We coached, we advised, we
Prayed.
offered in well, I was
I
gonna
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. What can we do? When your kid asks for advice, we provided it, but we didn't provide it unsolicited. We were always there as an ear. This sounds like we're awesome, by the way. By the way, no, we were struggling with this
No,
well, but
yeah.
in the end, we let her know we support you. We have your back, and totally buy into your approach. We think you're being mature in your approach, like encouraged her and all that, but we didn't do for her. And we only offered recommendations when she asked for specific recommendations. And I want to hope that that's what we'll do going forward. I guarantee that when grandkids get into the mix and all sorts of craziness, that we're going to have those same temptations. This was our first, well, with her for sure, but certainly the most dramatic moment where we have had to check our instincts as parents, recognizing that our child is now not a child, but an adult.
Yeah.
And I want to land with this. So much prayer. And
Yeah.
I sincerely believe in the power of prayer. And I sincerely believe in that instance, it helped, because the outcome to this story is, I mean, they're not going to room together in the future, but they've come to a cordial, compromised agreement to
Yes.
resolve the challenges that they were facing
Yeah.
and set the boundaries that they needed to set.
And they're talking again.
Yeah.
And, and they did. Both of them had to compromise on some things. It did. It ended fine. She said things are good. They, are speaking again in the room. It's not just like an icy
Yeah.
when you enter. So, and I would I wanted to make sure that someone was with her. I said, when we were on our way to our class that night, I texted her, I said, are you at the gym? Are you, burning off the energy? And she was like, no, her friend Alex was with her and hanging out with her until, so I'm just so
Such a good dude.
thankful that God has put good, supportive people already in
Yeah.
she met them within the first 2 weeks of school. And, it is just, they are there for each other. We've already seen it in other situations too. And so it's just a good, supportive group, which is what she had here. And so I'm glad that she has
That's what you
has
want.
found it there. And so hopefully, let's just keep things moving in the right direction. But we know now, and like you always want to say, but you don't want to hear, you will learn something from this. This is a conflict that she has never had to deal with. And especially as a girl, boys, you don't see it as much. I mean, I know there have been some nightmare roommate stories. I've seen them on the Facebook pages, but, boys get over stuff quickly. It's not as usually as,
There's not the same hangover after a
it's
conflict.
just. And so I am just thankful that she dealt with it, and she dealt with it in the right way, and that they just got things resolved, because it was just, it's gut wrenching when your child is hurting.
And hurting, and so many thoughts flood into your head of, not only is she hurting, she's hurting 1,600 miles away from us. Is this going to affect her grades? Is this going to affect her interest in being in college at
Right.
University of
Yeah.
Arizona altogether? All of that she handled maturely, and it's come to a really good conclusion. It just was angst riddled.
Yeah, because she
during that moment.
loves it out there,
Yeah.
and is having a great time. But if you physically live in a place where you don't feel good about being there,
Right.
so yes, so I'm so glad that it so far.
And yes, knock. Oh, this is.
Yeah,
I think this is wood.
fake wood.
Ooh, that scared me so.
So,
He's behind you.
That it seems to be
Yeah.
good. So
And exactly. We said that during it while we were talking to her. I said, things you're going to have to do, you're going to do, but you're going to grow from them. And she did. And she didn't want to do the things that she had to do, but she had to do the things that she did.
And I think, going back to your point of talking about, when other, the kids' significant others children, we were blessed with parents on both sides that never really
Never felt
tried to
meddling.
step in and meddle. And, so,
No.
that has been good models for us
Yeah.
that hopefully we will, as long as Tanner's significant other doesn't take him away from us, then I'm okay with that. So,
Different issue for a different
know.
time. I watched, my mom talked about that with Nana, that she said she had the best mother-in-law because of, one, the relationship, the positivity, those things, but she didn't get in the way. So I think my mom and to my extension, my dad had that exposure.
No.
I'm not sure what informed your parents, but they absolutely were not meddlers. And so I hope that we can, but they were involved. They found that wonderful balance of being involved but not meddling.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is going to be a great model for us as we continue into that phase of empty nest, which let's wait a little while for us to get to that phase. And I think both kids are the
new. I mean, because one of their mutual friends just got engaged, and it's, Teagan's good friend's sister, and then Tanner was the same age as her. And, but she got engaged, but she's not getting married for a while. But, they both looked at me because you were gone, had stepped away, and they're like, you have nothing to be worried. I was like, yeah, no. I said, let's get through all of your graduate schools and that kind of things. And then we can, talk about that stuff.
It is fun. Like, there's elements of the family that are absolutely like those kind of things. It was great for the four of us to be together, and those kind of conversations can be had as a family.
Yeah, which is
definitely
are
true.
You leading us into our?
I was doing a segue there. Yes, I was.
Yeah, because it is nice. We have a full family group chat. Then we have chats with both kids, and then they have their own. Now this one was on the family one.
We came to find out later, though, that there was some saltiness, good saltiness.
Yeah, there was some stuff going on.
So remember, let's set this up, though. Remember, we're talking about kids that are at two schools in Arizona that are rivals. If you don't know, Arizona State and University of Arizona feel the way about each other that Duke and Carolina do, or Texas and OU feel about each other. It is a good in-state or near-regional rival. It's a rivalry.
And they like to dig at each other. I mean, even on like the academic side of things,
innovation. Well, we've got Fulbright scholars.
Yeah, I mean,
come on,
it's
dorks.
just,
but they've been fighting like this, and the fun fighting throughout this entire house, wrestling on the bridge up here, doing whatever they do. Yeah.
No, they both like to, get at each other. So
text.
But let's set so ASU was playing hockey, men's hockey was playing the U of A team, which, we'll say what, So Tanner's texting Teagan during the entire game. Oh, it's 4-0. Oh, it's 12-0. Oh my gosh. And she did not respond at all. So then he sends this text. Do you want to read it?
I forgot to even mention, Arizona had an extra man on the ice for about a minute. Refs didn't catch it, and we still scored on them. Ha And her response
was, sorry, I was busy doing adult things instead of spending time looking for scraps of what you can be good at. So, I mean, and we were both, Rick and I were like, whoa, that was a good response. It's the quiet ones that come in with the good responses. So then yesterday I'm on Facebook and I was like, the ASU men's hockey team was playing the U of A men's club hockey team. They don't have a D1 team.
So take your snack talking.
Okay. So the Thanksgiving game is going to be fun between them because we're actually going to it this year.
Football. Yes, Thanksgiving football game.
Yeah. So that will be a treat. So
we'll see if we can film on site there. It may be from jail where they're getting bailed out from their battles, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So it Parents Weekend was fun. This is going to go down as what I hope is a unique Parents Weekend that is not replicated. You've already said that this weekend when we go out there that we need to go to the same breakfast place so that we can actually enjoy the
food
breakfast.
Was good, and we were all in such a mood and crying.
I'm over there trying to be the Chandler of the group, trying to make jokes and make us laugh while you and Teagan are crying at the table. I'm sure the servers thought, what the heck is going on? So we will go back and have a good meal and enjoy that place. Tiny, I can't remember the name of it. Tiny place, maybe Frank's, maybe 15 seats. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, the empty nest is quite a journey.
Yes, it is. So, and I'm sure we're, like I said, everyone has dealt with trying to guide their children without driving the boat. I mean, it's just
That's how we figured it out, though.
Yeah.
And I suppose we figured it out this time around. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't have to do much. Like I said, she pretty much took control. So.
Absolutely. Well, that ends it. That's another episode. It was a lot of fun recording this one again.
Yeah. Please don't forget to share and subscribe and like and.
Yeah, and there will always be some sort of poll or comments for you to place on the Spotify version of this. Would love to get your opinion about things and get your topics, as we're eager to know what you want to talk about. And actually, selfishly, we're eager to learn from all of you. So, yeah, like, follow, and tell a friend.
Yep.
All right, kiddo. Well, there it was. Another episode 10.
I know.
All to 2 digits.
I know.
Of the loud, quiet,
Living the empty nest.